Hello everybody, on behalf of TU Dublin Hothouse, IEDT Media Cube, I welcome you to our New Frontier Phase 2 graduation for 18.2 cohort. As some of you probably know, my name is Paul Maguire and I'm Head of Innovation Enterprise for TU Dublin, and I run Hothouse and have overall responsibility for delivery of New Frontiers here on TU Dublin City campus. We have a packed session this morning, including a former participant returning as a guest speaker, a presentation of her videos recorded a few weeks ago, and talks by Enterprise Ireland and Dublin BIC. Today represents our 18th graduation from the Hothouse delivered New Frontiers programme since 2012. In that time, we've had over 250 entrepreneurs on the programme, with some highlights being Eric Reisner from New Frontiers 4, who founded Artematics, which was recently sold to Unity 3D for €60 million. Avian Keane from New Frontiers 10 with her sister Izzy, who founded Izzy Wheels, which featured in Vogue, Cosmopolitan and Forbes magazine. Martin Brown from New Frontiers 13 from Unitech AI, recently featured in the Irish Times, who are using their AI technology to track down £20 billion in unclaimed pensions. And Aisling Kirwan from New Frontiers 17 with Positive Carbon, who back in November 2020 won the regional Seacorn competition and secured CSF funding. We are very proud to say that our alumni have raised over €200 million in equity investment, creating over 1,700 high-tech jobs in that time. You join me today from the Hothouse Hub, part of the Greenway Hub building in the heart of TU Dublin Grangegorm campus. It's a real pity that COVID has prevented you all from visiting the campus and meeting one another face to face, learning from one another's successes and failures. From speaking to Diane, Gloria and Orla and facilitators, I've been told that the level of engagement in spite of the many online hurdles has been remarkable. I've been lucky enough to follow your progress from behind the scenes and have been mightily impressed with your journey so far and excited for your future. Without singling out any individual participants, most have launched or in the midst of launching their minimal viable products. We've had people who've been shortlisted for CSF and Intertrade Ireland Seacorn competition. We've had discussions with EI's HBSU team. We've had features in the Irish Times and RTE News. We've had prototyping in Dublin hospitals and contracts signed with the NHS. And I believe there's been some success with the LEO priming grant. Well done to all, tremendous success. 18.2 represents our last cohort jointly shared between TU Dublin Hothouse and IEDT Media Cube, and I wish IEDT, in particular Anne-Marie and Fanula, every success with their new collaboration partners UCD. I'd also like to state my appreciation to Orla and Gloria, our New Frontiers administration team, who've been supporting 18.2 cohort on a temporary fashion since the end of 2020 and have acted as the heartbeat of the programme. The programme would not be a success without the involvement of our wonderful programme manager Diane Hurley, who's been keeping you all on the straight and narrow, and a deepest appreciation to all of our facilitators who have instilled their expertise and knowledge to the participants over the last 6 months. I would finally like to invite you all back to Grangegorm when conditions allow to meet one another and pass the baton to our next Phase 2 cohort, our 19th, which should be joining us here in mid-November. But back to today and our running order. First up, we have former New Frontiers alumni Paul McCarty from Snapfix, who will talk about his time in the programme and what has happened since completing New Frontiers back in mid-2019. No doubt an exciting journey with plenty of twists and turns. After Paul, Diane will introduce the first half of our participants individually before showing their completed videos. Next, we have Deirdre Neil from Enterprise Ireland, who will talk about the New Frontiers programme and what the next steps are before we return to Diane for the second half of our participant videos. Finally, we have Julian Seymour, who will close the event and talk about Dublin BIC and HBAN and highlight some potential investment opportunities to allow you to continue your enterprise journey. So that's it from me. Congratulations on completing New Frontier Phase 2. Now I'd like to hand over to New Frontiers alumni Paul McCarty from Snapfix. Paul.
Thank you very much. I'm very honoured to be here today, and thank you so much for the invitation to speak. I hope everybody is enjoying this fine summer we're having. My name is Paul McCarthy, and I founded a company called Snapfix a number of years ago, and I'm a graduate of the 2019 New Frontiers 2 programme. So I would have graduated exactly 2 years ago. I found the New Frontiers programme to be a great asset and a great programme. It taught me so much, and I'm going to talk to a little bit of that today. But first of all, I'd like to congratulate all of the latest graduates of the programme I actually took a look at some of your websites and LinkedIn profiles, and I'm happy I'm not competing with any of you today. It's great to see that the bar is so high. 18 months ago, I was sitting at a live event in your chair where you are today, and to my amazement, I won it. So that's why I'm here today. My background is over 25 years in computer software development, and in parallel, I've also been involved in managing property and property management. So I originally built Snapfix to solve my own problem. I have a few slides to help walk through, and I'll explain what Snapfix is, and then I'll talk through some of the learnings I got from New Frontiers to help me propel from a one-person startup 2 years ago to the business we have today. So if we could have the slides displayed. There we go. Okay. So at Snapfix, our mission is to build the simplest task management platform in the world. So our initial focus is on buildings. So think all around you. We've got buildings, infrastructure, facilities. That's our starting point. And our aim is to use photos, tags, and messaging, very much like WhatsApp, to manage everything from maintenance, fire safety, cleaning, security, everything to do with a building. I'll show you some examples. One of our early customers would be the K Club, which is not far from here, and they use Snapfix to manage all of their maintenance of the hotel and the golf course and all of their facilities, and it really helps with improved staff communication in such a large campus. As you can see there from those photos, we use photos, tags, and messaging, which are concepts that are very, very familiar to everybody, and we also use the simple process of traffic lights. So red is something is created, it's either an issue or a task to be done, yellow it's in progress, and green it's completed. So many of our customers actually refer to us as WhatsApp for buildings. This is another customer down in New Zealand, and they manage a portfolio of buildings using Snapfix, and it's very, very effective for them. And we also are very active up in Dublin Airport for managing equipment. So this is all around valuable assets, everything from wheelchairs to ambulances to air handling units. It could be anything like that. So we like to say we're moving the world from forms to photos, and using photos for communication is great because it works great in multilingual teams, and using traffic lights for collaboration is great because everybody understands the red, yellow, green principles. Okay, to my time in New Frontiers. So I was part of the January to June 2019 program. And before I joined New Frontiers, I spent most of my time on the product. So I had developed a prototype, and all of my focus and my concentration was on the product. And New Frontiers opened my eyes to 4 key areas, and namely strategy, and that's all around getting your focus right, raising investment, because we all know if you want to build a global platform, investment is required, sales and marketing, understanding the customer, and always be closing, always be selling. But the most important one, and it's there at the bottom, and I mentioned the word team 4 times because team is so important. I was fortunate at New Frontiers to meet a large audience of instructors, mentors, and their wider network, and it really helped me with all of these areas. So to strategy, two of the key learnings that I got from New Frontiers would have been to think big. It's okay for a company in Dunleary to have a global ambition, and New Frontiers certainly helped give me the confidence to have that. But even more importantly than that was the ability to focus. We could have looked at every type of building all over the world and tried to target those, but instead New Frontiers and Enterprise Ireland really got us to focus on one niche, win one niche first, and then expand out from there. So we chose hotels, and we launched the company properly in September 2019. And we chose hotels because they operate 24/7, they demand high quality all the time, and they've got a large audience of multilingual staff. And that was a great niche to choose. Now, of course, COVID hit in March 2020, and we had to adapt at that point. But the principle is valid, that it is so important to focus. So you can see from this map, our app has been downloaded in over 100 countries to date, and we've actually got customers on 4 continents, which for us is truly amazing. And our vision for the future is to have a map like this and just see blinking lights of Snapfix traffic lights going from red to yellow to green all of the time as we progress. So we have a huge ambition in Snapfix. We're solving for task management, just like WhatsApp solved for chat and how Excel solved for numbers. So we have a shared focus with those 2 platforms, and it's all around simplicity, so everybody can use it, and it's around infinite flexibility. So one platform can do many things, many different things for many, many different people. Everybody's Snapfix is configured and easily configured to themselves. So we have a great ambition around that. The next area that I put a lot of focus during my time at New Frontiers was raising investment. And my strongest memory is I attended an event after a full day workshop at New Frontiers, and Brian Caulfield was actually one of the speakers. And he mentioned 3 things that investors were interested in. They're interested in a massive market, an unsolved problem, and a differentiated solution. And those 3 messages really, really resonated with me, because when I looked at our own business, we have a massive market, all of the buildings, all of the infrastructure, all over the world. We just have an enormous market, and it's growing every year. We have an unsolved problem. There's still a huge degree of paperwork and inefficient systems out there, and we have a differentiated solution through our focus on simplicity and infinite flexibility. So we tick all of those boxes. So it was great. It was a great kind of confirmation of our approach and everything we were working on. In December 2020, we raised investment, and we're now actually launching a new investment round again, because we're really, really excited about the global opportunity, and our aim is to get to the global markets as soon as possible. The third area that I put a lot of focus on during my time at New Frontiers was around understanding the customer. We've been very, very fortunate, as I mentioned, to secure customers in 4 continents, and understanding the process from contacting the customer initially, the initial engagement, to solving their problem, to demoing, to trialing, to having them using it, and to expanding it right through to invoicing. Understanding that process is absolutely critical to all startups. And New Frontiers really helped me to focus on all of those steps on the road. Of course, getting out in front of real customers as early as possible is absolutely critical, because it helps to define your product market fit. And that's the road that we're continuing to do at the moment. Every month, we're improving Snapfix, incremental improvements every single month based on customer feedback and customer uses. I was actually down on holidays in Dublin last week, and popped into the Cliffs of Moher, and now they've become one of our latest customers, the Cliffs of Moher visitor experience. So it's great to see people appreciating our focus on simplicity. The fourth area, and I've actually got a couple of slides on this, is around team. Team is the most important aspect of a startup. At the beginning of any startup, every person counts. So you have to hire carefully. You want to surround yourself with the best people possible, because I haven't mentioned it already, it's really hard. Any startup, and I admire everybody who starts a company, it's really, really, really hard. We've taken on a massive challenge. We've surrounded ourselves with some of the best people in the world to help us get there. And we've been very, very fortunate that people have been attracted to what we're trying to do. We're trying to make a dent in the universe with Snapfix. We're really, really trying to make an impact, and we've been fortunate to attract great talent. So we have a great leadership team that's expanded then to our software development, sales and marketing and operations team. And of course, today in the COVID world, these are distributed all over the world, which is fantastic. This brings huge opportunity, and we're building a culture of trust. We really, really give ownership and autonomy to every member of the team to get their work done, and that's working very well. So we've been, again, very, very fortunate to attract great talent. In addition to the team, it's very important, and one of the key messages from New Frontiers was surround yourself with really strong advisors. Barry Brennan, who you see on the left there, was my financial advisor during the program, and he has actually helped us through the first 2 fundraisers and is actually advising us on the 3rd fundraise that we're about to embark on now. And Rory Duggan comes from industry and Lara Anderson from the investment world. So surrounding yourselves with exceptional people is very, very important, especially when you have a grand ambition. I'm still on team. So in addition to our team, I count our investors as part of our team. We've got a great cohort of supportive investors, and I'd like to make a shout out to Enterprise Ireland there, who have been particularly amazing on 3 fronts. In the early days, especially during New Frontiers, they challenged me on a lot of the areas I was working on, and they really helped me to focus. And they also gave us great support. So between challenging us, focus, and support, Enterprise Ireland has been brilliant. So I'll be forever grateful for that. So listen, we're very excited about what we've built to date, and our future will include much more than what we have today. So we'll be connecting into smart buildings. We'll be very much involved in image recognition, voice control, and the Internet of Things. So that there is a fantastic future ahead. So we're delighted to have all of the foundations in place to make that happen. So in summary, I want to thank everybody on the New Frontiers team for just being so amazing. I'm not going to mention everybody because I'll miss somebody's name, and that would be good. We want Snapfix to be a huge success for Ireland. We want Snapfix to be a huge success for Dún Laoghaire, and the New Frontiers support has absolutely been instrumental. And to the graduates of the current program, I want to wish you all the very, very best of luck. And please reach out to me if I can ever be of any assistance. Thank you very much.
Many thanks, Paul. Next, I have the pleasure of introducing our New Frontiers Programme Manager for 18.2, Diane Hurley. Diane.
Thank you, Paul. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce the first showcase videos of the New Frontiers Cohort 2021. First up, we have Capella Work Solutions. Karina Turley has met the pandemic with opportunity by creating 2 software solutions to support companies adjust to the new hybrid working style.
Capella is a platform for hybrid working. We make sure the right people are in the right place on the right day to perform business-critical tasks. Whether you're working from the office or your home office, we make hybrid working seamless. Employees can book their time in the office and let colleagues know that they're going to be there that day, so they can plan collaboration. Capella allows them to book meeting rooms. It allows them to book time in the canteen and invite colleagues to join them. It even allows them to book car parking. Managers know where employees are, and they can make decisions based on real-time data from our reporting. Capella also supports staff who are working from home. We carry out remote risk assessments and ergonomic training to make sure your staff are set up well while they're working for you in their home office. This is a really exciting space to be in, and the market is growing rapidly. Being part of New Frontiers in TU Dublin helped me really shape the business, and now we're looking for investment to bring the right people on board to help grow the business into the future. There's huge potential for Capella, and the future's looking bright.
Deirdre O'Dwyer's Prompt Pad is bringing digitisation to the arts world with the digitised version of the prompt book for stage managers.
PromptPad is a software management tool for both stage managers and production companies in the arts and entertainment industry. It will streamline data distribution amongst cast and crew members and be the ultimate GDPR compliant platform specifically built for the arts industry. My expertise as a stage manager within the arts and events industry has given me the insight and understanding to why PromptPad is needed in the arts industry. My co-founder Connor has the expertise on the software side, and we've been developing the app for the last number of months. The New Frontiers team, alongside their incredible mentors, have helped us with specific goals and how to bring our product to market. Our plan is to launch in Ireland first and target the major players here, before quickly moving into the UK market, targeting specific areas like London, Glasgow and Edinburgh, where arts activity would be quite high. We're now looking for further funding to develop our team and build our company.
With Live Easy platform, Patrick Crawford is organising family life and making a range of local services accessible with a click of the button.
Live Easy is a virtual digital assistant and a marketplace in your pocket. So you and your partner never miss an appointment, never miss a play date, never miss a match or an event, and will always find exactly what you need, exactly when you need it. The New Frontiers programme in TU Dublin has helped Live Easy accelerate its development and understand its branding, its marketing requirements, get its sales proposition right, and understand our customer value proposition very clearly. This has given us a clear understanding of the funding requirement we need going forward. We'll be applying for Enterprise Ireland HBSU investment along with finding investors, and we look forward to engaging with you fully to develop Live Easy for success in the future.
With Eon Bullion, Rory Roberts made gold trading more accessible to a wider audience.
Our company is Eon Bullion, and you would have seen over the last decade or so there's been a growth in the crypto market. Well, from that there's been a spillover into interest in gold bars and bullion. We offer testing solutions, and we are focused on lowering the cost of entry into the bullion market. We have an example here of an American Eagle gold coin that retails for around 1,600 euros. And then we have this coin, which has the same weight, same dimensions, looks like an American Eagle. It's very difficult to tell the difference. This is where our testing technology comes in. We can easily tell the difference between the two. Our technology is beautiful, it can test through the packaging, it's affordable, and in general removes barriers to entry for the customer on the street to purchase gold and to actually be able to test it at home. So that's what makes it unique. New Frontiers in TU Dublin has been very beneficial in developing our technology and our design in the programme over the last 6 months. Eon Bullion is currently in a development stage of the business. Next year we hope to have our products and services on the market and available to everybody. We look forward to that.
Jerry Cleary has created an alternative outlet to meeting and dining with people through his platform, Tobero.
Tobero is a community-based marketplace that brings people together safely around tables in house restaurants as a way to meet new people, to network, make new friends and new connections. People are looking for new ways to connect, and some people find it easier to strike up friendships where others don't. Some people value experience, are looking to try something different, and others just want to go out and have some more fun. Tobero is facilitating users to connect securely, quickly and safely, and it is giving users the control to manage those new connections and friendships. New Frontiers at TU Dublin has allowed us to develop this business opportunity and to create our commercial roadmap that we're implementing. They have also helped us evolve our value proposition and have given us access to researchers and some of the country's best knowledge providers, which helps us further validate our business. We are working with TU Dublin mentors and facilitators to help us prepare for HBSU, and we will also be looking at partner opportunities after that.
Thank you very much, Diane, for introducing the first half of our participants. Now I'd like to introduce Deirdre Neil from Enterprise Ireland. Deirdre, over to you.
Morning, everybody. Listen, thanks very much. I'm Deirdre O'Neill. I'm Regional Development Executive for Enterprise Ireland, and I'm based in Dublin. And part of that role is I do the evaluations with New Frontiers. And I also work with the local enterprise offices. But this morning, I'm delighted to be here on behalf of Enterprise Ireland to congratulate those who've completed phase 2 of TU Dublin Hothouse. And I just wanted to say, and others have mentioned it I personally found it a challenge to do the reviews virtually. And this is my second one to do virtually. And I can only imagine how it is for the program participants to actually do it virtually also. So I believe you all rose to the challenge and you continued on with your business plans and, you know, facing the day-to-day issues that you would normally have starting a new business, but you also did it in an environment where it was quite unusual. We were going through unusual times. So I commend you on that. So New Frontier for us represents an important element of Enterprise Ireland's strategy to promote entrepreneurship and the creation of new businesses across the country. The campus here, the TUD campus, has a strong record, and as you can see from Paul's presentation, of producing successful HBSUs and startups. And we want you very much to be that next success. And we want to see as many people, many participants who are graduating here today join Enterprise Ireland at some stage on your entrepreneurial journey. It is an exciting time to develop a business, and it won't be easy. This is a challenge. You will face many challenges along the way. But I would encourage you, and I'm glad Paul from Snapfix had mentioned, to keep in contact with your fellow participants. Attend relevant workshops where you'll get opportunity to widen your networks. You know, talk to as many investors as possible. Talk to as many funding opportunities as possible, not only ourselves, but the local enterprise office, and get as much opportunity to listen and learn and be challenged by those external agencies or investors. But most importantly, and also Paul did raise this, and I really do appreciate Paul's presentation, but I really do feel it really was a great presentation to hit it right on the button, is you need to talk to your customers. You need to understand what their problems are, what solutions they're looking for. You know, understand they will be your greatest allies. They will be the ones who will create your business, make your business a success. So as much conversations you have with your customers is crucial. And finally, I'd like to talk about, to thank the New Frontiers team, Orla, Gloria, Diane, Anne-Marie, Anne Fanula, who worked tirelessly to support the promoters and to participate on this virtual programme. So I'd like to thank those, and if I've missed anybody out, I apologise, but listen, they've put in a huge effort. I am now going to talk about the government supports that are out there. I will touch on our own supports at a very early stage, and I will address some of the other supports, but there's many, many supports out there in the form of government agency, grants, financial, and other agencies and accelerators. So you do need to do your research. And I suppose bear with me for the participants who've probably heard this throughout the programme, but these are for the audience who may be future New Frontiers participants. So who are we? There's government agencies. So out there, we've got the local enterprise office, we've got the IDA, and we've got Enterprise Ireland. So what do we do differently and what do we do together? The local enterprise office is an agency that sort of works with companies less than 10, initially domestically focused, but do have potential ambitions to go international. The IDA is very much an agency that's focused on bringing foreign direct investment. And then there's ourselves, Enterprise Ireland. So who are we? Enterprise Ireland is a government agency responsible for supporting Irish businesses in the area of manufacturing and internationally traded services. Why do we do this? We want to support ambitious businesses. We want to scale businesses, and we want to grow a strong economy. So what is that? So what we do is we work with ambitious companies who have, you know, challenges. They want to be the best in Dún Laoghaire, as Paul says, and the best globally. And how do we do that? We've got multiple supports, being financial and non-financial. So we want to encourage innovation. We want to encourage competitiveness, and we want to drive global success. So that's what Enterprise Ireland does. So I suppose the next stage is, so how is that, in what form do we do that? Well, we have funding. So we have financial funding to support your growth. We have export assistance in terms of our international offices, you know, making connections globally and worldwide. We've got 33 offices globally that have a reach to 60 countries. If we don't physically have an office, we have somebody on the ground that can support you in terms of consultancy. So we do have that global reach. What else do we focus on? Research and innovation. We partner with universities like TUD in terms of getting funding, research and innovation coming out of that. But we also partner with companies to drive their innovation within their own companies and support that R&D development in their own companies. Competitiveness is important. you know, you build your business, you need to maintain competitiveness. So we've got programs, whether it be educational or financial supports, to make your business lean and more competitive. And then obviously the international introductions, which comes out of our international offices. We do buyer introductions. So when you're ready to step into that market, we will make those introductions for you. We will, you know, do client buyer introductions and enable you to succeed in those markets. So that's sort of a summary of the supports that Enterprise Ireland can give. We have many supports, and I'm just going to focus on what's the next steps for those coming off New Frontiers and for those who may be looking at supports around New Frontiers and other programs. So we use terminology called HBSU. It's a high potential startup. So what is a HBSU? A HBSU is a company who was innovative, who have got international ambitions. They have the potential to create more than 10 jobs and achieve 1 million in sales within 3 years of incorporation. You need to be less than 5 years old to be a HBSU, and you need to be headquartered in Ireland, and you need to have your R&D in Ireland and your job creation in Ireland. Recognizing that, you know, companies will establish networks and support mechanisms and partnerships overseas and hire people overseas, but we want the growth and potential, you know, the jobs here in Ireland. So that's what we're measuring a company on when we're actually looking to invest in them. So that's the definition of what a high potential startup is. So how do typically these companies on board? Well, New Frontiers is an obvious one, obviously. You're a participant on New Frontiers. You go through the program, we refer you to Enterprise Ireland. That is one way. You could be a local enterprise office company. So you've gone working with the LEOs, you've got support there, you're looking to grow, they refer you into Enterprise Ireland. You apply for one of our funding programs, one being the Competitive Start Fund. You're successful on that fund and you become an Enterprise Ireland client. And then the other way of becoming onboarding to Enterprise Ireland is you've validated your market, you've done your research, you've got to a certain point yourself, and you're looking to raise finance fairly quickly or in the next number of months, and you know you've got a pathway and a successful pathway to do that, we can onboard you as a client. So New Frontiers is not the only game in town, but it's a good program to be on. And as you can see from Paul's recommendation, what he achieved through that program. But Paul also got other supports along the way as well. So, but I would highly recommend looking at the options of New Frontiers in terms of your own growth and development, if that's something that you are looking to do. But for those who are moving on, your journey can become LEO's, Competitive Start Fund, or knocking on the Enterprise Ireland door. And though the participants who are here now, we've had those conversations with. So early stage supports, what do they look at? Like, well, depending on your stage, you're at either ideation stage, concept, validation, getting investor ready, or growth and scale. So for the ideation and concept, New Frontiers is perfect. We've got phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 1 is where you're given commitment in the evenings and weekends in terms of you may have not left your job yet and you're looking to explore your business idea. You know, a number of people are on them programs, and there's many of those around the country. When you've moved on from that phase in terms of concept and validation, phase 2 comes into play. You're willing to leave your job, commit to this program full time. There's financial supports, and as you heard, there's many supports in the guise of mentoring and consultancy and workshops. So that's your concept stage. And I suppose then we're moving from the validation stage. That's where Competitive Start Fund comes in, or the LEO supports. So again, we are very lucky in this country in that the many supports that we have along those a startup's journey. So I would suggest you explore those. And then obviously the next stage for some of the participants on this program now is actually getting investor ready, the raising of the finance. And that's when we go knocking on the HBSU, High Potential Startup Inquiry Store, and exploring becoming an Enterprise Ireland client. So that's the journey. But there's also other people out there. Don't ignore the accelerators and the other programs that are there, because they can help you as well as ourselves in terms of that journey. So I'd just like to touch on some of those supports. So some of the early stage, some of our participants would have actually availed of those on the program whilst on the New Frontiers or before coming onto the program. So innovation vouchers, a small piece of funding that's a bit of research that you partner with a university that gives you that leg up, because you're on your own, you need that support. There's a mechanism there. Go check that out, innovationvouchers.ie, for that level of support. New Frontiers, I've addressed that already. You can become phase 1, phase 2 participant, and then obviously move on to phase 3. I would suggest that newfrontiers.ie is the website you check out and look at the various programs that will be meeting within your timeline if that's something you want to do. For program participants now, Competitive Start Fund is something that you need to look for. And I'm going to go through that in a little bit more detail later. But again, Competitive Start Fund on our website, Enterprise Ireland website, dates are coming up. Please check that out. The other piece then in terms of early stage support is we have also, Enterprise Ireland, have a HBSU feasibility study. Again, if there's more work to be done in terms of feasibility, we can explore doing that with you. That feasibility funding is a grant, so you've got a vouched expenditure, you agree, there's an application process, and you're looking to get to support in terms of up to 50% is what we're giving on that particular fund, the HBSU Feasibility Fund, and they're around a maximum spend of about 30,000. And we'll give you 15,000 to go ahead. That you doesn't have to reach that figure, but they're the ballpark figure in terms of that. So that's some of the types of funds we're talking about. Other supports, whilst on New Frontiers and whilst being a Leo client, in terms of from Enterprise Ireland, is mentoring or the Market Research Centre. So whilst on New Frontiers, you get access to our Market Research Centre, you also get access to our mentors. As a Leo client, if you need access to our Market Research Centre, we can put you on our system as a Leo client for EI services. So there's that soft support is there as well. So don't ignore those because they actually are crucial as well as in terms of your development. I mentioned the Competitive Start Fund. I want to go into it a little bit more detail so that you're aware of it. At the moment, there isn't a call close. It's a competitive fund or a call open. There is a competitive fund, there's a call open, there's a call close. It's very defined dates. It's usually gives you a number of weeks to get your application together, and it's a video application, and it is quite competitive. We are expecting one or two before the year end. Those dates, as I said, has yet to be realised, and please check out the website. But what is that? It's really at your validation stages where you look for a competitive start fund. We are investing 50,000 in your business for 10% equity. You match it with 5,000. And it's an agreed program and plan that you've set out and you've defined KPIs, and we want you to achieve that. It's pre-investment. It gives you that little bit of leg up and further work that you may need to do. We're looking for innovative companies in that space. We're looking for people with strong teams in the space, and with defined plans. So some validation is required. And we're looking for innovative companies. So when you're looking at those funds, bear that in mind. And Paul addressed that. Strong team is crucial. Having a validation is crucial, and understanding what you need to spend that 50,000 on is crucial in terms of this competitive start fund. So I said that was one thing you need to check out. Now, one of the things I need you to note: you need to be less than 3 years old, incorporated to apply for competitive start fund. Check out the websites, check out the terms and conditions, and that's one of the options of next stage for anyone who's just leaving the New Frontiers program. Okay, but what else can we do? So obviously we are an equity investor. EI, our Enterprise Ireland is looking to fund and take equity in clients to get that, give them that initial cash injection to get them kick-started. So what do you need to look like to get that? So you need to actually be, a strong validation, good enough, strong enough team, have a clear pathway and a strong plan. What does an investment look like? Around 100 to 350k matched funding. So you're raising funding, we're matching your funding. So minimum around 100, maximum around 350, usually averaging around 250. Equity investment, again, 10%. So if you've started off with a competitive start fund and we took 10%, we're going to dilute again and make sure that we have no more than 10%. We don't want to be the main investor in your business. We want you to run your business, but we actually want the benefit, obviously, of investing in that business. And again, the things we're looking for in a HBSU is you need to be jobs greater than 10, revenue 1 million within 3 years, and an international focus and ambitions to grow internationally. That is usually that assessment around HBSU is looking at your clients, talking to your customers. We'll do a due diligence on you. We're getting under the bonnet of the business, and we're working with you. You are a partner. So that is one of the other mechanisms that you can get funding at the early stages. Finally, I just want to touch briefly on the Leo supports. the local enterprise office also has a mechanism to support you in this early stage, leaving New Frontiers before you come on to HBSU, if that's the journey you need to take. Again, they've got soft on financial supports, so in terms of workshops and mentoring, networking opportunities and events, but they also have financial in terms of employment grants, and that comes in the guise of priming grants if you're 18 months or less, or business expansion grants if you're over 18 months, and again, priming grants. But I would talk to your local enterprise office. Who do you talk to? Who's your local enterprise office? Where your business is established or where you're living, you can pick your local enterprise office, and every local authority has a local enterprise office. They also have other supports like the trading online vouchers, again, in terms of your website. And I believe the technical assistance for market, for exporting companies is also coming back online, because obviously that's encouraging people to try and get into market and explore market opportunities. That mechanism's coming back up as well for the LEOs. So again, talk to your local LEO if that's the next port of call for you coming off New Frontiers, or if you're a new starting business currently listening to me now and want to understand what supports are out there, again, ring your local enterprise office. So finally, I have a number of websites that I think you should go look up. So obviously the Enterprise Ireland website is crucial. The local enterprise.ie is also important. Startinireland.com is really helpful. eilearn.ie, access to workshops and training again, and thinkbusiness.ie. So my presentation is going to conclude with there's plenty of opportunity out there. There's plenty of supports. Go explore them. Go see what is fitting for your business at this moment in time. And everybody's journey is different into Enterprise Ireland. And it may happen now, 6 months, 12 months. I have seen clients come into me 6 or 7 months, 8 months, 12 months after New Frontiers, or even a year or more after New Frontiers, because they had that just little bit of extra work to do. That's fine. That's okay. They got the Leo support. They used those mechanisms out there. I'm really happy that Paul really did give a great presentation, and best of luck to Paul, because he recognised the supports that were there, understanding the customers, strong team, accepting the challenge, listening to what's out there, and then going and doing, building up the business and understanding that this is you need partners on board and you need advisors. So use all of those mechanisms that are out there and learn from other people. I would love to see you in the future, and hopefully we'll get to meet again and up in Hothouse. And I just want to end by saying best of luck, well done, and all the best for the future. Thank you very much.
Many thanks, Deirdre. I'd like to hand back to Diane for the second half of our participant introductions and videos.
Thanks, Paul. Keith Walsh has developed an Edtech platform, Exam Revision, where students and teachers can access the entire secondary school curriculum and exam preparation online.
Exam Revision is an Edtech software company that provides a solution to grinds at a fraction of the cost. It is the ultimate learning platform for students and teachers. We provide a range of high-quality resources such as bite-sized video tutorials, expert notes, PowerPoint presentations, past papers broken down by topic, and all progress of students is tracked. Exam Revision makes learning easy for students, reduces stress, and enables students to achieve higher grades. And for teachers, Exam Revision reduces teacher workload, saves time, and enables them to track student progress. Engaging with New Frontiers programme in TU Dublin has allowed us to get access to expert mentors. They have provided us with support and assistance from developing our sales, our marketing, our strategy, redefining our value proposition, and looking at ways to break into international markets. Over the next year, we'll be evaluating partnerships and investment opportunities for Exam Revision.
Next we have Miriam Burke, who is developing technology platforms Click, where the customer can purchase brands while viewing TV.
Click is a software as a service company that allows brands to digitise their product placement in film and TV. It also allows them to measure the impact and efficacy of that product placement investment. We also have a mobile app that allows consumers to discover and shop the products available for sale in the content that they're watching. With the New Frontiers programme and TU Dublin, we've been able to get a significant edge as we look to launch our product to the market. Under the guidance of the mentors and through the workshops and clinics, we've been able to refine our value proposition, create our proof of concept, and we are getting ready to launch our product at the end of this year. None of this would have been possible without the New Frontiers programme. Later this year, Click will launch to the Irish markets. We will also be engaging in a round of pre-seed financing with a view to launching our product in the international markets in 2022.
Bernard Linnes's Simmer Studio is using game design principles to digitalise medical education.
Simmer is a digital medical education platform that provides medical simulation training through an immersive multimedia approach to train medical students and trainee doctors via what is essentially a computer game that teaches medicine. High fidelity medical simulation is an extremely useful but an extremely costly training tool for medical students and trainee doctors. The Simmer platform represents a much more cost-effective solution by digitalizing all of that within the training tool within the software. Taking part in the New Frontiers programme through TU Dublin encouraged me to speak with different people that I wouldn't have spoken with otherwise, and that helped me frame my business proposition in a much more valuable way in the sense of investors and just generally as a business proposition. It really helped me to define what it is we're doing and what it is we're looking for. We were recently chosen by our peers within the AR/VR industry as a one to watch, and we hope to build on that within the next few months. The next step for us is to pilot our prototype within a university hospital in Dublin in the next 3 months.
Eileen Denham's Home Moment has developed luxury high-grade candles made from sustainable goods as the first in a line of sensory experience products planned by the startup.
We are the Home Moment. We went from working in experiential events to pivoting in a pandemic to creating beautiful experimental products. Our mission is always to bring customers joyful experiences and make every moment in life a special occasion. When the pandemic hit and the events industry was no more, we quickly researched the changing landscape and found a gap in the market. The gap was experience-based products. Our vision was to bring people beautiful experiences directly to their homes. The Home Moment is an earth-conscious luxury candle brand, creating exceptional product-based experiences to elevate our customers' quality of life. The Home Moment is rapidly expanding its distribution through Ireland and currently shipping to international customers through our online store. We will be launching into the wholesale European market in 2023. Our journey with TU Dublin and New Frontiers has helped us define our value proposition and strategy for sales. With the assistance of incredible mentors on the programme, we have formulated a solid business plan and the growth of the company has been accelerated. We are currently selling online and have 7 stockists with a further 15 stockists confirmed from September. We are working with a number of high-profile brands on collaborations and bespoke offerings. Follow our journey on thehomemoment.com.
Finally, we have Michael Dunlop and his startup Power of Choice, who is providing mental wellness and coping supports for the health and social services public sector.
I am the CEO and founder of Power of Choice, empowering people to make choices that make a difference. It's been a long pandemic, and most of us at some point have suffered from stress or anxiety, none more so than in health and social care. We provide the tools and skills that leaders, decision makers, and key workers in health and social care need in order to deal with the causes of stress and anxiety in the workplace. We provide digital resources, self-coaching programs that can be easily accessed by and rolled out to all staff, and live virtual programs and one-to-one coaching to help senior leaders, key workers and decision makers in an effective, easily accessible and practical way. New Frontiers in TU Dublin has been an invaluable experience for us. It has allowed us to have the space and given us the experience to be able to build and grow our business. My background is in training and in coaching, especially in leadership programs, and the guidance and expertise of mentors has allowed us to learn how to grow and scale in a way that we can turn this into a high-performing startup. It has also allowed us to connect with fellow entrepreneurs who are on the same journey and to learn from each other. I would recommend New Frontiers in TU Dublin to any entrepreneur who's looking at starting up a business. Part of Choice has been delivering programs in health and social care in Northern Ireland, and at the end of this year we'll be delivering an all-Ireland programme for key decision makers and senior leaders in health and social care and in the wider public sector. We're also going to be working with multidisciplinary teams in GP practices, and we'll be moving on to working with Health Education England in the UK, and then our aim is to move into Ireland and the US. We're hoping to work with Enterprise Ireland and to apply for funding from them in order to enable us to do all of this. We're also looking to work with investors who share similar values to us, who not only want to be part of a business that is growing and scaling and turning into a global Irish brand in this space, but who also want to make a difference by helping people who make a difference for all of us.
Many thanks, Diane. Finally, I'd like to hand over to Julian Seymour from Dublin BIC HBAN. Julian.
Thanks, Paul, and good morning. It's great to be here and to be given the opportunity to speak on the graduation day for New Frontiers. I've been involved in the startup world now for almost 6 years, been actively, I suppose, supporting and engaged with many of the New Frontiers graduates. I've worked with them, I suppose, post New Frontiers, pre-New Frontiers, and also in HBAN, and supported many of them going on to raise angel investment as well. So it's fantastic to be given the opportunity to speak today and to congratulate everyone on their progress so far. I really want to just talk about a few things this morning as you move on to the next stage of your journey. It's something that will have been alluded to by all your mentors. Paul would have alluded to it this morning. Deirdre would have spoken about it. But it is the ongoing drive to be investor ready. And a number of you will look to go on and raise investors, as we've seen in your video, raise money from investors, as we've seen in the videos today. And so really it is just, I suppose, a refresher, a reminder on what those key elements are. And I suppose a call out for you to, continue to pay attention to them, because it does take time to raise money. And if you really, really focus on these 4 key elements to investor readiness, then hopefully you can reduce that time to raising money. So I have a very simple sort of set of slides to show you, to help give you a little bit of guidance on that pathway as you move to the next stage. I suppose firstly, again, Paul had it on his slide, team. It is undoubtedly most important thing when investors are assessing you. So you do need to reflect on how investors view you as a team, get their honest feedback, learn from that, and look at how you develop the team capability and capacity, and how they engage externally with investors and potential investors. Secondly, there's no substitute for business traction. And again, Paul spoke to this morning. They focused on one key vertical. They look to go deep and do it well initially to build out a strong proof of concept. And that gives confidence to investors that they're coming into a business that's focused and has the ability to go out and make sales. So it's incredibly important that you stay focused on getting commercial and on the commercial channels that you are going to approach first to build your business. The third, and related to that, is the level of professionalism. So you're going to go out and engage with investors, and investors create or get an impression of you right from the get-go. So your level of professionalism is reflected in how you prepare, how you communicate, and importantly, how you understand the investor relationship. So don't just look at the investors as a source of money, but understand what the investor motivation is, what they're looking for from their investment, and what they need to see to give them confidence to invest or to invest further. So spend time looking to understand that investor relationship. And the fourth and final one is the quality of documentation. And again, that relates to the first three. You are going to require documentation, be it business plans, financials, pitch decks, in the course of raising investment. It's really, really important that you put a good level of preparation into getting these in good quality. They're robust, they look professional, there's no spelling errors, there's no mistakes on them. And that creates a really, really good impression of a company that's well prepared, has up-to-date and accurate documentation, and that documentation then links to the financials. So there's no gaps in the financials, there's no old financials that don't align with the business plan. So making sure the documentation is current and it's accurate is of incredible importance. I suppose not to look at something negatively, but I suppose this is a kind of really useful thing, and I suppose take the positive from understanding what the negatives are in terms of the mistakes that companies make. So as you go out into the world trying to raise investment, avoid trying to make these mistakes. So number one, and everything stems from this, prepare properly for investor contact. It is really, really, really important. You should be beyond the stage now where you think investors are going to invest in the awesomeness of your idea alone. And they really want to see a business that's sustainable, that can scale and can grow. Don't have lots of unvalidated assumptions in your pitch or your business plan. A lot of businesses quite often do, particularly around sales and sales traction and the likelihood of customers to adopt their technology or their solution. So it's really important that you validate all the assumptions that underlie your business plan, and that you can demonstrate you've validated them through, I suppose, real action or achievement. You are undoubtedly going to have to go and pitch to investors, and it's really important that you practice pitching to investors. So that's the verbal oration delivery of your pitch, and that's complemented obviously visually by a slide deck in many cases. Really important that you practice this, and that you put on a good and compelling show, and that your pitch is delivered with energy and confidence. As I mentioned before, really get inside the minds of the investor, because a lot of times early stage companies don't understand the investor motivation and don't look beyond the cash. You need to speak to investors, you need to ask them questions in terms of what they're looking for, understand their motivations, and also you need to do due diligence on those investors. Once you have raised investment, it's really, really important that you understand and respect the investor's cash. You're going to go into a relationship with this investor, and you're going to need them along the journey in terms of their expertise and their network, but potentially also for future funding. So it's important that your investor base has confidence in your business throughout the duration of their investment. Number 7 is around sales. And it's really, really important to understand how to develop and execute on a sales strategy, particularly how to build pipeline, and also how to manage that pipeline from lead generation to trial to purchase, evaluation, eventually purchase, and post-purchase customer care. It's really, really important that you demonstrate this and that you understand this to any investors that you're talking to. The final one, as penultimate one, is around documentation, which I've spoken to before, but too often we see that there's lots of investor interest in the early stages, and then in the second or follow-up meeting, all that investor interest and momentum is undone by having poor investor documentation. So make sure you have this in good shape and accurate and up to date. And then finally, understand that raising investment is a competitive process. Nearly all investors will be considering several investments at the same time. So it's really important to understand that this is competitive, and what will stand out will be the people and the companies, the promoters that are prepared and professional, and can address all the issues that I've raised and has been raised by the other speakers this morning. So finally, in terms of supports that we in Dublin BIC can offer you moving forward. So we have, of course, met many of you on the New Frontiers journey. Every year we'll meet with you as you develop your final business plans and give you feedback. From our point of view, we work very closely with Enterprise Ireland and the local enterprise offices. And our core supports really are around investor ready preparation within Dublin BIC. So your business plan, your financials, your pitch decks, are never set and fixed. They continue to develop as your business develops. So we will work with you one-to-one as you go on that journey of becoming an Enterprise Ireland HPSU to further develop your business plan, to further develop and stress test your financials, and to get you pitch ready to go in front of investors. When you do get to the stage where you have identified investors and you have a term sheet, we'll work with you one-to-one in developing your HPSU application documentation and the financial data sheet that goes with that documentation. And finally, Dublin BIC as a key player in the ecosystem is always looking to drive collaboration. So we have an extensive network, both within the Dublin BIC family, but also extended network through an array of networking opportunities and connections within the investor community. Particularly when we look at funding, Dublin BIC is responsible for managing the Halo Business Angel Network, and is also a manager of Dublin BIC Vouchers, which is a seed fund for investing in early stage companies. So please do come and speak to us at an early stage about how you can connect to angel investors, how you can get in front of the angel investor networks, and how you can connect with other funds and other investors in the Irish ecosystem and indeed outside the Irish ecosystem. We have a wealth of contacts and experience in this space, and we'd be delighted to support you in moving along that funding journey and raising funds to grow your business. So that's all from me. I look forward to seeing you and your businesses over the course of the coming months as we help you along that journey.
Many thanks, Julian, for that. I'd like to wrap up our proceedings for today. Congratulations on completing New Frontiers 18.2, and I look forward to seeing you all face to face when we pass the baton to our next New Frontiers cohort in November 2021. Thank you and congratulations again.